watching Crumbtv.
This is Prema Osset in Los Angeles, Leimert Park, and you are now watching Crumbtv.
You are watching Crumbtv.
We're watching Crumbtv.
You are now watching Crumbtv. So subscribe.
I am the Grand Sheikess, Unity Temple number 80, More Science Temple of America, and you are watching Crumbtv.
Yo, this is that kid 179. You're now watching Crumbtv.
Crumbtv.
Peace of divine family. It is your humble guest and current resident of the Crumbtv Network, the one and only Crip Jesus, the blue god. And as we always do, you know, the master student always does the perfect trifecta. Me, for the divine family, I like to do, well, I started off doing the first four through the door, but I think we've passed numbers. Me being a supreme mathematician and one of the higher ranked guys, well versed in the high sciences, I think it's a shame to be using numbers. We're beyond that. So let's get to the supreme mathematics and let's do the first to show up or the first to go up. Let's see who the first to show up was. We got DV Minor. Peace, family. Hit the like button on the way in. Show appreciation and value. Yes, please, y'all. Because sometimes we be having 200-300 people in here and y'all be so amazed at what's going on just looking at the camera and at the screen. Y'all ain't even hit the like button yet. Now understanding that when you hit the like button, this is going to go around for everybody to see and get into the algorithm. So everybody can get a piece of this divine energy that we sharing because we are the divine family. And we don't stay shy. We multiply. You understand? So let's get some more. We got Pharaoh Israel. Peace. We got Trey the Truth. What they do? Peace and love, family. We got Queen Sofa Real Teru. Peace, family. We got Trail White. Let's get it. We got Pierre Julian L. Islam to the God. Yes, yes. Peace to the God. Peace to the God. Okay. Let's get it, man. We got so much. Bring the info. You know I'm about to. The United States of Africa. You know I'm about to. But let's make sure we do this right. You know, we do have things to take care of. We do have bills to pay. We do have things coming in the future that you need to be aware of now because the future is not the past. It's not the present. It's both together as one. How about that? The past determines the present, which determines the future. We are making the future right now. And right now we are deciding to make sure in the future on Juneteenth, we find ourselves in Orlando, Florida. Okay, because the Crumbtv Network presents the Juneteenth retreat from June 16th to June 18th in Orlando, Florida, starring the Minister of Information, MOI. Tickets can be purchased at crumbtv.info/events. For vendor and sponsor information, contact crumbtvads@gmail.com. It's going down. We got MOI bringing the heat, and we got Orlando, Florida, chilling in the heat. That's a whole lot of heat. Hey, before we go any further, because I don't want to disrespect y'all, can I get a 777 if y'all can hear me? Oh, peace to the guy, Freddie. He always in here. Peace to the gods and goddesses. Yes, sir. Can somebody hit me with a 777 if y'all can hear me so we can get this started? We in here. Who that? Baltimore Jama. We in here for sure. Oh, yeah. And don't forget, before I go any further, hold on. Don't forget. Hold on. You can find me on all platforms, just like Jesus from before. I'm omnipresent. I'm everywhere. However, if you want to find what we're talking about here, how we're teaching you the past, what's real and what's not, how we're teaching you how to unravel his story and how to learn my story, the myth story, so we can determine and dictate and have control of the future the same way the ancestors before us did, so we could be where we are now and we didn't stay stuck in the state that was just going on, and so on and so forth. We're leading the pack. We are leading the curve in Afrofuturism. I am one of the head teachers and one of the living legends of Afrofuturism. You feel what I'm saying? So if you want to get into that, it's not all together right now, but it would be wise of you to come now and visit the website, cripjesus.com, and get a bar of what's coming. Because next month, I've been telling y'all this since last month. I was kind of getting y'all ready when we started talking about the MOI event. So next month, the website is going to be going crazy. You talking about some Afrofuturism. We're going to put you on the spaceship and take you there. You dig? Hold on, man. Okay, so we got the 777s. Hold on. Oh, what up, cousin? Keep rocking. Oh, you already know. But hold on, I gotta put the goddess up there. Peace to the Empress. I miss you, Queen. Where you been at? Let's get it, man. So before we go any further, let me just introduce y'all to what I like to call the Black Illuminati.
When you're a black man in America, you gotta make something out of nothing, baby. You gotta wiggle, you gotta move, you gotta finesse, you gotta tap in. That part. Gold chains, heads wrapped like a Saudi. Tap in with the lokes. We the Black Illuminati. We be posted at Leimert Park, hustling, catching bodies. A dripping OT. Thirsty peaches flew to Saudi. Money schemes, my niggas had dreams of riding Bugattis. Now it's 4-finger rings supreme with kings around me. Watch me turn the metaphysical to physical. It's not just lyrical, it's literal. These guns get rid of you, the spiritual. Spit out, let drip off a nigga lip, but get up in you and rip you up like 100 hollow tips. Bismillah, Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim. Prophet Noble Drew Ali, Elijah Muhammadeen. Had a dream last night on some other shit. Farrakhan and Malcolm X pulled up in the mothership. Talking about UFOs, black kings and queens that was rich as fuck, swimming in pools of gold. But niggas like you don't wanna hear that though. You were descended of one of them snitches or dudes that told the white man about all the fucking Jews and gold. And that's how everybody in the crew.
Hold on. Wait. It cut off right before my favorite part. We tapping in. All you bitch niggas doing is tapping out. Because that's, you know what I'm saying? We ain't tapping out. And they hate that. You know what I mean? Y'all can come with whatever theory y'all want. Y'all can come with whatever concept. Y'all can come with whatever religion and all that. We don't care because we're not here for that. That's why I love Crumbtv, man. Let me get a 777 if y'all love Crumbtv. Or matter of fact, no, because we always do the 777s. Pause. Can y'all put Crumb or Crumb, where are you? Or something like that. Just put his name up there because, you know, God said where 3 or more in his name, he comes to life. I believe that about Crumb. If we're 3 or more of us say Crumb name, Crumbtv. Let me get 3 or more people to type in Crumbtv. You know what I'm saying? Because Crumb is hot on fire out here. And we ain't playing out here. And it's because of people like Crumbtv that we have the outlet to think for the future. We're not stuck in the temple. We're not stuck in the mosque. We're not stuck in the church. We're not stuck on the block in the hood. We're not stuck with the knowledge of the jail cell. We're not stuck with the knowledge of black. We're not stuck in any of them boxes. The future for us is the future for the universe. You feel what I'm saying? Look it. Where Crumb at? Crumb, if you see this, you'll love it. Crumb, where are you? Crumb. Crumbtv. You feel what I'm saying? It's so many of these, but listen, man. I'm here to speak on behalf of Crumb today, man. Crumb has a mission, and I do too. And we'll put on this mission together. It's to bring the future. But for who, though? Who are we bringing the future for? I hear that argument a lot on this channel. I'm indigenous. I'm Indian. I'm black. I'm African. I'm this. I'm that. Today, we're going to define it. We're going to end it. And we're going to wrap it up. And what sums them all together, I don't care what you niggas call yourself. You know what they hate most about all y'all? It's that goddamn Afro. Afro. And what we're looking for is the future for us with the Afro that been here since the beginning. What's the future for the beginning? Well, what y'all don't know is the CIA declassifies its records every 50 years. This is where a lot of these so-called black conscious niggas get their information from. not from the sun, moon, and stars, where me and Crumb get it from. So what they're giving you is a bunch of reread, but we about to give you the future. Today we're gonna tap in, and from now on we ain't doing nothing but tapping in. Is y'all ready to come with us? Is y'all ready to come with us, bro? Is y'all ready to come with us? Because we're going there. We're going all the way to the future. So the first thing I want to do is I want to ask y'all, who in here knows what the United States of Africa is? If you do, type it down in the comments. Or if you don't, just put, hey, I don't know. The divine family says they don't know. They're not sure. And that's exactly what the devil wanted to know. That's exactly what the devil wanted to happen. He wanted y'all to not even know. The United States of Africa has already happened. Is y'all ready for that? It already came and went. And they did y'all niggas like how they did in the movie MIB, Man in Black, when they zapped the little thing in your face and you go, zzz, you ain't see it. You niggas ain't even see it. You niggas ain't even see the United States of Africa. It was right in y'all face. But I'm about to show it to y'all today because I'm going to take y'all back to the motherfucking future. Amen. Amen. And we start by defining Afrofuturism. The term Afrofuturism was created by Mark Derry, an American Caucasian man who has no afro. Therefore, Afrofuturism, like Pan-Africanism, is not from the people it represents. The so-called creator of Afrofuturism, Sun Ra, never heard of it. It did not begin with him. It began in the hearts and minds of little children who were bullied, assaulted, murdered, and ostracized for having antennas on their heads. The continent on which they developed this trait is named Africa. Okay? Now, have y'all ever heard of this man? They said Obama slid on Libya. Have you ever heard of this man, Sun Ra? He's credited as the creator of Afrofuturism. But like I just told y'all, he never even heard of it because what he represented is bigger than some name that Mark Derry made up. So they sent Crip Jesus and Crumb and people like us to reclaim it. And it starts with, let me back up. Let me start with him. On October 20th, 1952, Blount legally changed his name to La Sun Ra, claimed to have always been uncomfortable with his birth name of Blount. He considered it a slave name from a family that was not his. David Martinelli suggested that his change was similar to Malcolm X and Muhammad Ali. Well, the difference is Malcolm X and Muhammad Ali got their name here in America from Elijah Muhammad. He got his name in Africa. The white man, whatever y'all want to call him, the American government that represented the white people, like you call itself, told him that, because this is back, it ain't like how now you just go up there and change your name, anything. So they told him, we're not going to call you that unless you go to Egypt and get them to recognize you as that. Well, that nigga went to Egypt and got recognized as Sun Ra and got it stamped on his passport and came back and changed his name to Le Sonnerie. Now that's it in French because he knows about the Armana dynasty being the Normandy dynasty in West Europe and the Gauls and all that. He pretty sure he knows about that. That's why he made the name a Creole French name. And this is why y'all never heard of the United States of Africa, but y'all gonna hear about it tonight. We got 74 people in the room. Can y'all hit that like button, man? We going up. Africa is proper, correct, and beautiful. Was y'all ready for that? I know they're gonna say, no, Alkebulan, or some other made-up ass book name. But let's get to this shit. Africa is a Latin word based on the nature of the original people's hair, known as Afro, derived from the goddess Aphrodisia. Geographically, the name Africa has roots in actual land and not the imagination of authors. An ancient kingdom known as Ifriqiya still exists in North Africa today. This land known as Ifriqiya was conquered by Romans and freed by Muslims who speak Arabic. The Arabic tongue is rooted in the language of the gods known as Medu Neter, spoken by Coptics, which are the Egyptian Christians before the concept of Christianity, the original Christians, the original followers of Jesus. In Arabic, the pharaoh is al-Firan, which transliterates in English to Afiru, Afro, the ethnic trait of the gods. Come on, y'all see that? That's the Afro right there. That's how you see the guys, how you know you're looking at a guy. You see that hair right there? Y'all can't tell me that that it's just so obvious. It's right there in the words, man. Really look at that. Let me take y'all to church because it's the blue God here tonight. And this is the Afro. Now, let's define the future. The black future is a concept that is only 50 years old. Prior to the martyrdom of Malcolm X, or prior to the martyrdom that Malcolm X experienced after his assassination, black people did not call themselves black. Of course, the term was used as an adjective to describe color. Like somebody might say, I'm black, as far as describing how they look or what they are in comparison to others. And of course, it was used to describe race as well. Still, the people who recognize themselves as black today use the terms Negro, colored, and African, or some said Ethiopian. The concept of blackness being divine or powerful begins with Elijah Muhammad, specifically his teaching of the black God science, that when God said, let there be light, he was clearly black. That comes from Elijah Muhammad, y'all. Amen. Spirit, you feel me? Who the thugs go to? Who the street people go to? Who the hoes go to? I need somebody, you feel me? Yeah. And Crip Jesus. Because thugs need love too. We need love. And Crip Jesus. You know these hoes love you. And Crip Jesus. Because thugs need love too. We need love. And Crip Jesus. You know these hoes love you. Hey, now where you niggas go when you need work? And where these hoes go when they need perks? Where you go if you need a nigga murk? All right, now we begin with message to the black man in America. After me, this is Crip Jesus' story. I'm gonna tell y'all what led me to learn about the United States of Africa. So after I memorized the 120 and started carrying myself different, people began to recognize me as the God on the prison yard where I was incarcerated. Even the people I called and wrote back home noticed the difference in my delivery and intelligence. Still, it wasn't until I taught my first student, King 7 Allah, Malik Sadiq Shabazz, that I became a true and living 5%er. The questions he would ask and the challenges he'd come up with would force me to study the 120 in ways I never imagined. The only way I could be a teacher was by becoming a student again. I always saw pictures of Allah the Father, or y'all call him Clarence 13X, but he's Allah the Father. I always saw pictures of him reading Message to the Black Man. What I didn't see was that he was studying 120 by reading it. All of the understanding you need to see the lessons in real time is in that book. This is facts, y'all. It's called Message to the Black Man in America. Think about it. People wouldn't call themselves the black man, the black then. So this was powerful. Peace to the brother Willie Boylan. So-called black was actually blue in ancient times, i.e. blue black. You know what I'm saying? Oh yeah, it's getting real up in here. So let's break down what Elijah was pushing. Hold on, man. I need some vibe music. Can we vibe real quick? We about to go to the future. Who wrote Message to the Black Man? Elijah Muhammad. Elijah Muhammad was an American religious leader, black separatist, and self-proclaimed messenger of Allah, who led the Nation of Islam from 1934 until his death in 1975. Muhammad was also the teacher and mentor of Malcolm X, Louis Farrakhan, Muhammad Ali, and his son, Warif Deen Muhammad. Now, what they didn't tell you right there is, let's go back to my other slide. Message to the Black Man is what Elijah Muhammad wrote. Those supreme wisdom lessons are by Master Fard Muhammad. Those were passed down to Elijah Muhammad, and he passed them down to the FOI. That's how Allah the Father, who was known as Clarence 13X when he was in the FOI, left the FOI and brought it to the streets. He was actually making Xerox copies of these secret lessons and passing them out to kids in the streets. That's how they eventually made to a prison cell with a crack baby Crip who calls himself Crip Jesus, got his hands on him. I wasn't Crip Jesus then, I was just a Crip. That's what made the Jesus on there. And from those lessons, I learned about things that I learned about in Message to the Black Man that apply to right now. And one of those things was called the United States of Africa, but it ain't nowhere in that book that it say United States of Africa. Ain't nowhere in them lessons that it say United States of Africa. And ain't nowhere in this lesson I'm finna break down to y'all doesn't say United States of Africa. This is how I learned about it. Now, check this out. As the Divine Family says right here, the concept Gaddafi was murdered for. Yes, the United States of Africa is the concept that he was murdered for. Now, let me break it down for you. In the 35th degree of the 1 through 40, which is the Lost Found Muslim Lessons number 2, it asks, tell us the exact date of the expiration of the devil's civilization. The answer is expired in 1914. Now, I've seen many guys go against the lessons and say, see, this is proof that the lessons ain't all right as an exact because the devil's civilization is still going. God, I still got to get a driver license. I still got to answer to the devil. But that's not what that means. Because you have to go back to the knowledge God, which is the 17th degree of the 1 through 40. It's going to ask you, what is the meaning of civilization? And the meaning is one having knowledge, wisdom, understanding, culture, refinement, and is not savage in the pursuit of happiness. So that means in 1914, the devil lost knowledge, wisdom, understanding, culture, refinement, and he's no longer in the pursuit of happiness, and he is savage now. Because the Turks had the devil bound. He had to follow the laws of the you and I verse that he'd been trying to break from day one, that he hates. Now, as you see right there in the parentheses, it says, I first got this date at 7 years old from Jehovah's Witness. So when I was 7 years old, I don't know if y'all know, because I don't see them do it as much anymore, but the Jehovah's Witness used to walk around and knock on people's doors with a Watchtower of books. And what was the other ones they had? It was Watchtower and Awake and a few others. I got a cousin that's Jehovah's Witness. I got a friend that's a close friend of mine that's Jehovah's Witness too. I've been to Kingdom Hall with him a bunch of times and all that. So me and my family weren't against Jehovah's Witness. Now, in the ghetto, it was very popular to ignore the Jehovah's Witness, don't answer the door and laugh at them. Maybe even cuss them out. We used to actually open the door for them and talk with them. So they came in and studied with us a few times. And I remember they talked about the year 1914 being the year that like Jesus came to the earth and the devil and all this crazy stuff. But the point is, what actually happened in 1914 is, do y'all know? I ain't gonna do the 30-second thing. I'm gonna look in the comment section and give y'all about 5 seconds. Do y'all know what was so special about 1914? 4, 3, 2, 1. I guess not. The first World War, World War I, is 1914. No, somebody put Noble Drew Ali. Noble Drew Ali resurrecting the Canaanite temple was in 1913. Y'all gotta get off this religious stuff, man. This is why Crumb sent me to take y'all into the future. The future is not religion. Noble Drew Ali and Wallace Farr Muhammad and all of them didn't do all that so we could sit around and talk about them all goddamn day. Let's go to the future already. Are y'all ready? Because between the time of Noble Drew Ali and Wallace Farr and all that, and now, it's like 100-year gap. The CIA was started about 100 years ago. They brain warp on us is working so good that y'all haven't even woke up from the slumber yet. Y'all still 50 years behind talking about the government assassinated Malcolm X and more science temple. All that shit's old already. We're going to the future. The United States of Africa is after that, but it's 50 years ago from now, and y'all don't even know about it. Because they did the MIB trick on y'all and went zzz, and took away y'all whole memory with these TVs and these iPhones and this bullshit and all these lights they keep playing with. Las Vegas has the most lights blinding what's in the sky. Why? Because that's where the fucking mothership wants to come and visit us. It's already visiting us. That's where Queen Khalifa and all that is over here, but y'all don't know about that. He said it's a day missing. We're 1,000 years behind. Don't try to correct my science. I'm the teacher of Afrofuturism. We're 100 years behind, and we're quoting things that the conscious niggas are 50 years behind, and us as a whole are 100 years behind. World War I, 1914. The meaning of this lesson, if y'all confused. What does it got to do with Message to the Black Man? In the Message to the Black Man, it explained, in Message to the Black Man, Elijah Muhammad explained that in 1914, Europe and the people of Europe lost their civilization because they drove the Turks out with World War I. He explains that in Message to the Black Man. The significance that has to a person who's initiated into the FOI or 5% Nation or any of those things, or even Jehovah's Witness, is that they teach that in 1914 is when the devil came to earth. To make it more simple and down to earth and make sense, Elijah Muhammad said in 1914 is when the devil was allowed to roam free out of Europe and do as he pleased, because now the Turks ain't there overruling anymore. He could run amok freely. Well, let's just see how that applied to the Afro. The First World War and its consequences in Africa. The First World War represented a turning point in African history, not as dramatic as the Second World War, but nevertheless important in many areas. One of its most important legacies was the reordering of the map of Africa roughly as it is today. Hold on, man. This is how Africa got to looking like this. See how that map looks with the World War I? See that little bit of green area that the Turks got? And everything else is surrounded by them little British maps and French maps and Spanish maps. And I keep saying maps, flags, I mean. You see that? You see that? That's because of World War I. Because in World War I, they had to get rid of the Ottoman Empire, which was our empire. Are y'all catching on now? Why 1914 was so important? So you might be saying, what the hell has that got to do with Afrofuturism? What the hell has that got to do with United States of Africa? It has everything to do with it. After World War I, our empire fell. And we realized we need a united front. That's where the concept of United States of Africa came from. And wrong. I'm correct myself. We got to go way back to the future, y'all. Marcus Garvey was talking about the United States of Africa way back in the 1800s. Then after World War I destroyed the Ottoman Empire, we had to start re-talking about it again. But let me not get ahead of myself. Let's go in order. Back to the future we go. Bro, back to the future we go. I gotta take a break. I ain't gonna lie. Hold on.
It was written in the end that the sun would rise from the west. I am the sun, and this is the west. Crip Jesus, Yeah.
Dread the God, the God. Dread the God, the God. Dread the God, the God. Dread the God, the God.
Niggas ain't ready for revelations. This the Bible last few pages. This when God sit down with Satan. This the last secret of the Masons. This the moment Eve met the snake in. This the resurrection of your savior. This the last one to the nations. Beware of the bombs they be detonating. I'm getting head smoking bomb while a nigga waiting for them to blow this bitch up and leave on a spaceship. I've been anxious, waiting and waiting for all of my killers that stuck on plantations. You call that shit prison, we call that shit slavery. You cannot confuse me, these devils can't break me down. Hold up, we do not want reparations. Tell them devils keep their pieces of paper. We want back the land, we want back our culture. We want them to get the fuck out of our faces. We want them to get the fuck out of our nation. Tired of catching these cases, the running, the chasing, the beating, the macing, the kicking, the tasing. The police say haters, even the black ones is racist. Ain't wanna murder us all. That's cause they know we the guns. We in the sky with the stars. Alhamdulillah. Ain't wanna murder us all. That's cause we young and we born. That's cause we shining so hard. Allahu Akbar. Just make the trap say amen. Man, look at all these black faces. You know we the lost tribe of Jacob. This ain't gospel, this ain't Kirk Franklin. It's the real nigga you been waiting. This the moment Goliath for the David. This was written in the pyramid by the sages. Niggas ain't ready for reparations. There's someone in store. The white man flew out of space and he seen faces carved in the planets like Mars. The description of they face and lips was like ours. You know the black man is God. Arm, leg, arm, head spells Allah. Every time you see me make a wish, I'm a star. Yeah, that's a bar. Ain't wanna murder us all. That's cause they know we the gods. We in the sky with the stars. Alhamdulillah. Ain't wanna murder us all. Just cause we young and we born. Just cause we shining so hard. Allahu Akbar. Revelations, all shall be revealed. There is no beginning, there is no ending. This is just one part of it. Ain't wanna murder us all. That's cause they know we the God. Crip Jesus. We in the sky with the stars. Alhamdulillah. Ain't wanna murder us all. Just cause we young and we born. Just cause we shining so hard. Allahu Akbar.
Yeah, okay. So I'm not just gonna say, oh, it's World War I. Ooh, wow, and then leave y'all with that. We about to break down. How did that affect us? What's that got to do with Africa, the people with the afros, all that? Oh, I'm about to give it to y'all, my nigga. I told y'all the Ottoman Empire is what got took down, and that was our empire. Let me show and prove. See that right there? This is the breakdown of what led to the brother right there, Muommar Gaddafi. You see him young, dashing general, taking over Libya. Okay. Even the last remaining independent states on the continent, African continent, Liberia, Ethiopia, and Darfur, became involved in World War I. Liberia declared for the Allies on the entry of the United States into the war in 1917. The pro-Muslim boy emperor of Ethiopia, Lige Ayasu, proclaimed his country's allegiance to Turkey, thereby causing considerable concern among the Allies that he would inspire a jihad among the Muslims of the Horn of Africa, where Sayyid Muhammad Abdul Hassan's forces were still giving trouble to the British. British, French, and Italian troops moved to Berbera, Djibouti, and Massawa, but the intervention proved unnecessary since shocked Christian nobles overthrew the emperor in September 1916. Okay, y'all, information alert. Crumb, if you out there, say, I told y'all. Crumb, if you're out there, put it in the comments right there, nigga. Don't be lazy. Put it in there. I told y'all, the emperor that took down Lige Ayasu, that stopped him from going against them goddamn British, was Haile Selassie. I'm sorry to reveal it to y'all too. Yep, Crumb knows what he's talking about. The emperor that was a Christian that stopped Emperor Lige Ayasu from stopping them damn Christians from coming over there was Haile Selassie. He helped the British, and then next thing you know, the Italian came. But the British helped him against the Italians. But then it got a little tricky after that. You shouldn't have just let them devils in there at all, if you ask me. Anyway, back to the reading. Similarly, Sultan Ali Dinar of Darfur, nominally tributary to, but effectively independent of the Anglo-Egyptian Sudan, responded to the Turkish call to jihad and raided French Chad. He threatened the British Borno, the northern Nigeria, and tried to stir up revolt in Kordofan in Sudan. Not until February 1916 was he defeated and killed in battle in Darfur, fully incorporated into Sudan. So, let Crip Jesus break this down for y'all. Or let me, my bad, I don't even want to disrespect this knowledge like y'all. This is so high level knowledge. Let King El Allah break this down for y'all. The brother asked, what's the topic? The topic is the United States of Africa. Have you ever heard of the United States of Africa? Okay, well, you about to today. So this is how the United States of Africa came into fruition. You missed the first 30 minutes. That was a breakdown of Afrofuturism and the fact that this concept was actually dreamed up by Marcus Garvey before World War I. But we're breaking down World War I because a lot of Afrofuturists today and Afrocentrists and people that watch Crumb TV, I like to call them the divine family, they may not deal necessarily in the white man's knowledge and history and sticklers for little dates and times, but this is important to this concept. Now, in World War I, both Ethiopia and Darfur responded to the Turks' call for jihad. Meanwhile, oh, my bad, that's the same thing I just read. Oh, no. Meanwhile, Liberia was involved on behalf of the Allies because Liberia, let me start over, y'all. Both Ethiopia and Darfur responded to the Turks' call for jihad in World War I. Meanwhile, Liberia was involved on behalf of the Allies because Liberia was a creation of the United States. Its citizens were members of the U.S. government. The United States created Liberia to be an African colony, and that is exactly how it operated. The government of the U.S. was born by way of Sultan Muhammad III, ruler of the Barbary states of North Africa. These were the recognized United States of Al-Maraka. For years, the presidents of the U.S. were forced to submit and pay tribute to the rulers of North Africa as a form of rent. Thomas Jefferson ended this tradition. He refused to pay Yusuf Karamanli, Pasha of Tripoli, Libya, and instead paid Napoleon Bonaparte $15 million to join the New World Order. This is disguised as the Louisiana Purchase, and their New World Order is disguised as the Allies in that war. So now you see, that's the group, the Allies and the New World Order and the people who stopped paying the kings in Africa, the United States of Barbary, United States of, Al-Maraka. It was that group that created Liberia. That's why Liberia did not join with the call to jihad in World War I with the Ottoman Empire. That is why Liberia operates exactly like an African colony. You got to start learning who is what and where. What is in Africa, where they come from. Liberia is from America. And I'll prove it to you right now. Hold on. Matter of fact, we want to go IO real quick. We want to go IO real quick. We about to take y'all to the future, man. Can we take y'all to the future, man? Let me take y'all to the future, bro.
Most of the continent was divided between the European powers. The only exceptions being the Ethiopians, who essentially fought off colonialization, and one other on the opposite side of the continent, Liberia. However, this nation is a remnant of pre-colonial times. It was the attempt of African colonization by the United States of America. The American Colonization Society was set up in December of 1816 by just elected President James Monroe.
They're talking about Liberia, y'all. This is how Liberia was created.
Henry Clay, among others. The main goal was an establishment of a colony in Africa for free black Americans to go to. Some of the founding members viewed this as vital towards protecting slave property.
They were trying to kick us out the country. They were trying to deport us out of our own land.
Were abolitionists and never had much support in the Deep South. The organization raised around $50,000 in donation and membership fees from sympathizers during its first 10 years. But its biggest early source of income was the U.S. government itself, where in 1819, Congress authorized a payment of $100,000 to the ACS. In 1920, the ACS sent its first colonists to West Africa, consisting of 91 people, 88 blacks, and 3 whites, on board a ship called the Elizabeth. They initially based themselves in the British colony of Sierra Leone before searching the coast for a place to establish their own settlement, where more than a quarter of the colonists died of yellow fever within 3 weeks. An agent of the ACS arranged to purchase an area of land called Cape Muzerado from the Gola people for the sum of $300. In January of 1822, the first settlers arrived at the settlement. They initially called their settlement Perseverance, but in 1824, they renamed it Monrovia in honor of President James Monroe, who was a supporter of the ACS. The settlement had its problems, including several conflicts with the local inhabitants who resisted the expansion of the colony, but they did manage to thrive, which was aided by the immigration of over 2,500 African Americans over the next 20 years. The success of Monrovia inspired the creation of several more American colonies in the region, such as the Maryland Colonization Society in 1831, funded by the state's taxpayers. Maryland appropriated $260,000 to be spent over 26 years to support the MSCS. Laws were also passed discriminating against free persons of color in Maryland in order to pressure them to emigrate. In February of 1834, the MSCS established its own colony in West Africa at Cape Palmas, 400 kilometers to the southeast of Monrovia. Its capital was named Harper City after a former U.S. senator from Maryland. The colony itself
They were shipping us out of the country, y'all.
Maryland. The states
This is
of
why Marcus Garvey had to come.
Mississippi
and
also
say, hold
created
on.
their own settlement
It's time
in
for us
Liberia at the mouth
It's
of
time
the
for us to
Sinai
dictate
River.
our own future, our
The
own
movement
fate.
was openly backed by the wealthy planters of the region as a way to reduce the number of African Americans in their states. However, only around 900 settlers actually left for West Africa. There were even New York and Pennsylvania societies who set up the colony of Port Cresson in 1832. It was destroyed by the local Bassa people, but refounded 3 years later at Bassa Cove. The supporters of this effort included many evangelical Christians and Quakers, and their motive was to spread the gospel to Africa by planting a Protestant settlement in the region. The U.S. government had sponsored this colonization effort financially, and its warships and marines
They were trying to colonize the whole continent.
Needed, but otherwise it took a hands-off approach and left their
They were going to use
administration
Liberia to
society.
colonize the whole continent, the whole
The
West
settlements
Africa. This
also
is
had
so
British
evil.
Goodwill. The main concern of the UK government in West Africa in this era was stamping out the slave trade, and the appearance of a free republic of ex-slaves in the region was a boost to the abolitionist cause. The colonists were almost all African Americans, but they brought with them the English language, Protestant religion, and Euro-American laws, customs, and attitudes to the natives who lived in West Africa. In 1838, the ACS colony of Monrovia united with the Quaker colony at Bassa Cove to form the Commonwealth of Liberia. Its population was 2,250, with 20 churches and 10 schools. A system of government was organized under the ACA back in the United States, and they appointed a governor with executive and judicial powers and a veto over legislation, but the colonists themselves would elect a legislative body. Thomas Buchanan, which was brother of a future U.S. president, was the first governor. After his death in 1841, the ACS appointed a local resident, Joseph Roberts, who became the first black head of government in Liberia. The colony of Mississippi in Africa agreed to join Liberia in 1842. However, the Maryland one was unwilling and would remain separate until 1857. In 1846, the ACS urged Liberia to declare its independence, which it did the following year on July the 26th. There were two reasons for this. First, the ACS was nearing bankruptcy. The initial donation from the U.S. government was long gone.
All right, we can stop the story right there. That's his story. We about to give y'all the Miss story, the my story. This motherfucker is basically, they ran out of money for their slave colony over in Africa. Did y'all know they had a slave colony over in Africa? Did y'all know this whole story is way more backwards than y'all think? Did y'all know it was more ships of quote unquote black people sent over there than so-called came over here? Oh yeah, it gets deep. Liberia. Now, A lot of people connect Liberia with Marcus Garvey. A lot of people connect Liberia with his Back to Africa boating movement. So y'all don't know about Abraham Lincoln and them sending the niggas over there. A lot of people connect Marcus Garvey to Harlem, New York in America because they don't want y'all to know about him really being from Jamaica and them deporting his ass. The United States of Africa is deeper than you think. This ain't about an argument about Indians and indigenous and all that shit. It's about realizing, who do we deal with? People that look like us, people with the afro. Who do we deal with on a global level? Or are we gonna keep talking about what's going on in the backyard all day? How are we gonna get that bag and that funding and that protection and that real movement to the future? How are we gonna really see Wakanda forever? Who's the first person to even have that vision? Marcus Garvey. God body, God body, God body. The ideal of a multinational unifying African state has been compared to various medieval African empires, including the Ethiopian Empire, the Ghana Empire, the Mali Empire, the Songhai Empire, the Benin Empire, the Kanam Empire, and other historic nation states. During the late 19th and early 20th century, the majority of African land was controlled by various European empires, with the British controlling around 30% of the African population at its peak. The term United States of Africa was mentioned first by Marcus Garvey in his poem, Hail, United States of Africa, in 1924. Garvey's ideals and formation systems deeply influenced former African leaders in the rebirth of the African Union. The United States of Africa is a hypothetical concept of a federation of some or all of the 54 sovereign states and 2 disputed states on the continent of Africa. The concept takes its origin from Marcus Garvey's 1924 poem, Hail, United States of Africa. Garvey also organized the African Legion, a group of uniformed men who would attend UNIA. Y'all know what UNIA is? Can somebody type in the comments what UNIA is, or do I gotta tell y'all everything? Do I gotta tell y'all everything? Or do y'all know a little something so we can head up with this? Because if not, I gotta start from the beginning and tell y'all what the UNIA is, man. Come on, man. Don't make me do this. Do I gotta tell y'all? Because I will. Let me give y'all 30 seconds. Because I really thought y'all was gonna type that up real quick. Oh, wait, hold on. I got some comments. There we go. Okay. United Negro Improvement Ass. No. Why you make me say that? Why you make me say that? I meant to say United Negro Improvement Act. But yes, the brothers must have been some asses calling themselves Negro. No. You gotta understand something, bro. This is how this works. The brother wasn't dumb. Association. When you're talking legal, you use the language that is used in the law of the land that you're using it in. So they weren't defining themselves as Negro. They were telling the people who defined them as Negro, this is what the Negro is. It's like going to the dictionary and redefining it. It's just like the word nigga. The word nigga means king. It does. And most of us in the Black conscious movement know that. But we still whisper to each other, hey, what up, nigga? Don't say that in front of white people. We've refused to put back in it the energy that they put in it, because words are not solid like that. Realities are not solid like you think. A word does not have a meaning in the spell like how they say. It has the spell and the meaning behind the intention that comes into the vibration. That's why Elijah Muhammad took the word black and made it good. Now everybody wants to be black. You feel what I'm saying? So the UNIA, the United Negro Improvement Association. Okay. Garvey also organized the African Legion, a group of uniformed men who would attend UNIA parades. A secret service was formed from Legion members, providing Garvey with intelligence about group members. The formation of the Legion further concerned the Bureau of Investigations, who sent their first full-time Black agent, the first full-time Black FBI agent, named James Wormley Jones, to infiltrate the UNIA. In January 1920, Garvey incorporated the Negro Factories League, through which he opened a string of grocery stores, a restaurant, a steam laundry, and publishing house. According to Grant, a personality cult had grown up around Garvey within the UNIA movement. Life-size portraits of him hung up in the UNIA headquarters, and phonographs of his speeches were sold to membership. Judas. This is the James Worley nigga they talking about. So the first ever FBI agent, black FBI agent, was hired to infiltrate the UNIA. So I don't want to hear no shit about black police being agents doing their job. That's for dumb niggas that don't know nothing. That's why we can't make the Afro future until we know the Afro past. Can I get a motherfucking amen? Police ass, agent ass niggas, stop that shit. I ain't gonna say your name, but to all niggas watching that down with the FBI, stop that shit. Because if you know anything, you know this. The FBI did not allow anyone of the Afro descent in until James Worley was put in, James Worley Jones, to infiltrate the UNIA. Under the leadership of Marcus Garvey, although he was seeking evidence of subversive activities during the Red Scare of 1919, Jones' work led to the arrest and trial of Garvey on mail fraud charges. I believe this shit. In January 1922, Garvey was arrested and charged with mail fraud. They couldn't get this nigga on nothing, so they got him for mail fraud, y'all. Ain't that but a damn shame? For having advertised the sale of stocks in a ship, the Orion, which the Black Star Line did not yet own. He was bailed for $2,500. That's right, my nigga had the money. Hoover, who was J. Edgar Hoover, the leader of the FBI, and the BOI, or the Bureau of Investigations, that's what it was called back then, were committed to securing a conviction. They had also received complaints from a small number of the Black Star Line. The Black Star Line is the name of Garvey's movement. That was his boat, the newspaper, all that. The Black Star Line, he was the first one with a newspaper for black people all around the world. The Black Star Line stock owners who wanted them to pursue the matter further. Garvey spoke out against the charges he faced, but focused on blaming not the state, but rival African American groups for them, as well as accusing disgruntled former members of the UNIA. In the Liberty Hall speech, he implied that the NAACP were behind the conspiracy to imprison him. The mainstream press picked up on the charge, largely presenting Garvey as a con artist who had swindled African American people. Garvey was furious with the verdict, shouting abuse in the courtroom and calling both the judge and district attorney damn dirty. Ooh, it's the same thing Kanye West said. Imprisoned in the Tombs. Do y'all know what the Tombs is? Oh, y'all don't know. The Tombs is a jail. Man, I'll explain to y'all next. But the Tombs, he was imprisoned in the Tombs jail, just like a mummy is in the tomb, while awaiting sentencing. He continued to blame the cabal for the verdict. In contrast, prior to this, he had never expressed anti-Semitic sentiment and was supportive of Zionism. So, do y'all think it's a coincidence that him and Kanye West both were down with the ooze, and then after that, they both blamed him? Did they both find out something we don't know? Give me a 777 if y'all agree with what I just said. Y'all know what I like to give y'all? Y'all got 30 seconds. You can give me a 777, or you can even type a full sentence. Give me your opinion about him blaming the Udis and all that. How y'all feel about that? Oh man, bro. Hold on. Somebody said that J. Edgar Hoover was really a melanated man, passing as a Tomahawk. Uncle Ruckus, he was a Creole. If that's true, nigga, that is extra deep. We can't even delve into that right now. That's too deep. Do y'all agree with what I said about what Marcus Garvey said? He said the Udis was the one plotting behind this. They had a Jewish, let me say the word, a cabal meeting. Same thing Kanye West said they had going on with him. The tombs. This is where Garvey was incarcerated, y'all. Why is it called the tombs? Does anybody know about the tombs? It's called the tombs. They built it to be a tomb. I guess they literally meant to lock up the Egyptian mummies in there, which is us, the dead Egyptians. Can I get an amen? Egyptian revival. In an architectural style that uses the motifs and imagery of ancient Egypt, it is attributed generally to the public awareness of ancient Egyptian monuments generated by Napoleon's conquest of Egypt and Admiral Nelson's defeat of the French Navy at the Battle of the Nile in 1798. Napoleon took a scientific expedition with him to Egypt. That scientific expedition was included in it was a man named Grand Mason. That's the grandfather of Adam Grand Mason, the nigga Adam 22 of No Jumper, y'all. I mean, I connect all the dots. A scientific expedition was with Napoleon in Egypt. Publication of the expedition's work, the Description de l'Egypte, began in 1809. It was published as a series through 1826. The size and momentality of the facades discovered during his adventure cemented the hold of Egyptian aesthetics on the Parisian elite. However, works of art and architecture such as funerary monuments in the Egyptian style have been made or built occasionally on the European continent in the British Isles since the time of the Renaissance. So they've actually made jails of Egyptian architecture to lock us in. I mean, you can't make this shit up. It's extra deep. So this all falls in the line with what we know as Pan-Africanism. Pan-Africanism, according to Marcus Garvey himself, he was framed, imprisoned, and deported by a united effort of infiltrators. After imprisoning and deporting Garvey, the U.S. used the NAACP, Pan-Africanism, and Liberia to pacify its black population while keeping them disconnected from the Ottoman Empire and any remnants of it. The most powerful element of the Ottoman Empire was its global economy, especially that of Al-Maghreb, Africa. The Ottoman army entered the war in 1914 on the side of the Central Powers, including Germany and Austria-Hungary, and was defeated in October 1918. Following the armistice of Mudros, most Ottoman territories were divided between the British, the French, the Greek, and the Russian. That's proof right there, nigga. That's a big part of the division, at least how it applies to the Afros. Check that out. I'm not against Pan-Africanism or Afrofuturism, brother. I'm just telling you, it's dealing with a science that is missing this science. That's why they sent me. But yeah, we ain't messing with paying nothing for sure. The petty. But check this out. This is how it was divided up. Okay. So Pan-Africanism is dealing with pacifying us while we don't see none of the economy, none of the culture, none of the love, none of the connection, and none of the benefits that come with those lands that belong to the Ottoman Empire by way of belonging to us, by us having a Turkish identity or recognizing ourselves as part of that first. What do we recognize ourselves as part of now? Even the land in Africa that we recognize ourselves as part of is taken over by them right now. So check this out. This information came from www.history.com. Topics: Ottoman Empire, WW1, decline and definition, history. In 1960, King Idris, after they split up the whole North Africa, West Africa, and all this, King Idris was put in charge of a big chunk of North Africa. Do y'all know what chunk that was? Where was King Idris placed by the Allies to control? Do y'all know? I'll give y'all 30 seconds. I don't got no time to wait no more. I'm in the future already. I'm just gonna tell y'all, man. The Italians put him in power, not the people. He's a puppet of the Italians. That's why Gaddafi hurried up and came and threw him out. Who owned Libya before Italy? The Ottoman Empire. The Ottoman Empire formally ceded Libya to Italy under the Treaty of Uci on October 18, 1912. Libya formerly remained an Italian colony until 1947, when Italy relinquished its claims upon Libya, which had been under joint Franco-British occupation since 1943. In Libya is a place called Tripoli. Tripoli is the first enemy of the U.S. That's where Thomas Jefferson said, I ain't paying no money to you niggas no more, and turned against us. Because like all the Moors keep trying to tell y'all, we ran this over here at first. But what they ain't telling y'all is these hidden parts right here. Gaddafi, and Jeff Ford, and all that. We about to bring this to y'all. Okay? So, let's get it. Idris was putting power over there. This is where the first enemy of the U.S. was and all that. Gaddafi had to take him out of power. He was initially revered as a handsome revolutionary hero, Gaddafi, after seizing power without shedding a drop of blood in 1969. So in 1969, Gaddafi took that King Idris puppet dude out of power without dropping a single drop of blood. His political theory outlined in his Green Book was designed to fix the flaws in capitalism and communism and free the oppressed people of the world. This wasn't just for him. This wasn't just for the Libyans. This was for the world. This was for the oppressed people of the world. He was going to free the world in Africa, from Africa, with the United States of Africa. He helped wrest away control of oil from those taking advantage of lesser countries. He was already helping the world. He was already negotiating, debating for small countries that was getting their oil ransacked by the Europeans. With Libya becoming the first developing country to receive the majority of revenue from its own production of oil. There was no electricity bills in Libya. Electricity is free for all citizens. There was no there was no interest on the loans. You feel what I'm saying? Banks in Libya are state-owned, and loans were given to all the citizens at zero interest by law. At least when Gaddafi was there, who knows what's going on there now? The devil's in control. If a Libyan is unable to find employment after graduation, the state would pay the average salary of the profession as if he or she is employed until employment is found. Can y'all believe that? If you go to college for something, you don't have the job in that thing yet, that field yet, they will pay you as if you're already in that field. There's no communist competition of trying to sell things. This is real love, peace, and growth and fulfillment. My dad loved Gaddafi. Peace. Free Chief Malik. You already know what's going on. Oh yeah, when he deposed him, same year Crip was founded. Oh yeah, I break that down. Where's bomb? Professional unemployment. Thank you. You feel me, sister? We can't have niggas right here wandering around the streets and all that. What type of leader is that? That's not Islamic. Islamic law does not allow usury, exactly. So it can't be no banks with interest loans in Islam. That don't make sense. Islam already handled that. Islam already breaks that down in the Quran. That's the Green Book, y'all. And that's the United States of Africa. So y'all see this concept was created by Marcus Garvey, but it was Muommar Gaddafi that actually created an economy in a book and a bank that can actually bring the United States of Africa to life. Watch this. You still don't believe me? Y'all still probably saying, where show me a video of Muommar Gaddafi saying United States of Africa. Well, let me show y'all something. Who controls the banks of West Africa? Who's getting all the money from West Africa, y'all? I'm gonna give y'all a hint. There's a rapper from West Africa, and his name is something. I ain't gonna say the last name. I think it's too good of a hint. His name is two names. He's a rapper, and his first name is the name of that place that's getting all the money from West Africa. Do y'all know? I'll give y'all 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2. Y'all know the name of the rapper? French Montana. He's Moroccan. He's from West Africa. But it's French in France that's getting all the money from West Africa. They control that shit, not the West Africans. See what I'm saying? This is why Muommar Gaddafi was saying we need banks to free our people from this goddamn oppression.
True, most of France's financial wealth right now is still built on
$500 billion a year.
Wow.
From Africa.
From Africa.
Wow.
500. That's a lot
And
of
is
money.
it true that the deals are such that an African nation that has this deal with France cannot do business around the world with their natural resources without the first right of refusal with France?
First right of refusal is in
and they can
France's
still
hand.
tell them no.
Mm-hmm. They can still tell them no.
So if they've dug gold, coffee, cocoa, whatever, they go to France like, hey, you guys want this? And they say, nah. And they say, okay, we're going to sell it over here. France can still say, nah, you can't do that.
So insane.
And all those nations still run on the French franc, which is also hilarious because even France has
Goes
the
on
euro.
the euro.
Exactly.
So wait, they buy money from France with their own natural
So,
resources.
yeah, and if they don't
that's
comply,
not even worth anything in France.
Yep. And if they don't comply, the faucet's turned off immediately.
Is it true most of France?
So, not only is France controlling the West Africa through the economics and the banking system, but it's bigger than just looking in Africa. This is why a lot of the brothers who get the knowledge outside of Africa go crazy and say, I don't want to talk about Africa no more. But you have to talk about Africa. That's the core of it. It's bigger than black and white. That's the core of the economics, nigga. How you gonna be the king or the top in the world and you ain't dealing with the hot spot? It's a reason we built the Nile there and all that. It's a reason we chose the top of Africa, which is Europe, as the hangout vacation spot that we used to be at all the time. That's why the white people came over here and said, oh, we like it over here. Can we kick it too? Can we hang out and stay here? So who wanted to return it back to the original Moorish empire that includes the Americas? Who said we have a right to do that as far as the diaspora is concerned and really created this United States of Africa thing, including us too, which is why Malcolm X created the OAAU and got killed later. Who's responsible for that? Gaddafi. The focus for developing the United States of Africa so far has been on building subdivisions of Africa. The proposed East African Federation can be seen as an example of this. Former president of Senegal, Abdoulaye Wade, had indicated that the United States of Africa could exist as early as 2017. The African Union, by contrast, has set itself the task of building a united and integrated Africa by 2025. Gaddafi had also indicated that the proposed federation may extend as far west as the Caribbean, Haiti, Jamaica, the Dominican Republic, the Bahamas, and other islands featuring a large African diaspora may be invited to join. Why did Muommar Gaddafi, of all the African leaders, why was he the one that wanted to include the Caribbean, Haiti, Jamaica, the Dominican Republic, the Bahamas, and other islands featuring a large African diaspora may be invited to join? Because we didn't land on Plymouth Rock. Plymouth Rock landed on us. Nigga, did you even know what that meant? Stop playing with me. This is the real United States of Africa. And that's why, even though he was in power in Libya, even though he had just gotten power in 69, he was already funding Nelson Mandela. Chief Malik, who y'all know is Jeff Fort, still in prison, still alive today, the first man in North America locked up for terrorism. Louis Farrakhan, and this was after Elijah Muhammad's son ended the Nation of Islam. Did y'all know Elijah Muhammad's son ended the Nation of Islam? A lot of y'all don't know that because y'all see the new Nation of Islam and think that's them, because y'all know what's really going on. Elijah Muhammad's son ended the Nation of Islam. He threw away the lessons and all of that. The 5% are the only ones out here still repping, holding it down on the black mafia type status like how it was back then. The new NOI was started by Farrakhan in the late 80s because he got money from Gaddafi to restart it because we needed that. That's how much involved Gaddafi is. The only reason y'all even hearing Farrakhan right now and they repping him in the rap songs and he's saying stuff on our behalf and protecting us is because of Gaddafi. He funded Elijah Muhammad. He's the reason that they built the first, the Holy Temple in Chicago. He funded that. He funded the Black Panther Party. Was y'all ready for that? Yes. Elijah Muhammad's son did throw out the lessons. Yes. Was y'all ready for this? Leaked Hillary Clinton emails revealed NATO killed Gaddafi to stop the formation of United States of Africa. Leaked Hillary Clinton emails revealed NATO killed Gaddafi to stop the formation of United States of Africa. I don't make this up, y'all. Why did he want to create the United States of Africa, and why was the leaders in America worried about it? It's deeper than just, oh, America got money over there. It's because what y'all don't know and what y'all need to realize is that we still in Morocco.
Yeah, we right here. We ain't going nowhere. Yeah. We still in Morocco, and we still ain't found a chosen prophet or apostle. And we still see rappers die every day like Pop Smoke. They gon' do you like P&B Rock at Roscoe's. Ain't take off, the chain don't take off. We still got shot though. Gotta bite my tongue on this one. Wanna say a lot though. For real, I wanna say a lot though. Yeah, we still in Morocco. Yeah, but we still on the block though. And we still getting chased by the cops though. And we still gotta slide on the ops, bro. Cause when you live fast, you gon' die slow. What I live for, I'ma die for. When you live fast, you gon' die slow. I just hope I die in Morocco. Yeah, 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 yeah. We still in Morocco, and we still screaming free El Chapo. Still need a plug like Pablo. Got a guy that's look like a model. She mulatto. Same thing that I live for, it's what I die for. It's survival. Still gang cause it's tribal. You can never leave the streets behind you. With so many ops and rivals, I sleep with it with my eyes closed. Locked up where the time go. Back out, now you grind slow. Money funny, we ain't laughing though. Wearing guns like fashion though. The Black Miles, Black Capone, Crip Jesus book, chapter 1. We still in Morocco, but we still on the block though. And we still getting chased by the cops though. And we still gotta slide on the ops, bro. When you live fast, you gon' die slow. What I live for, I'ma die for. When you live fast, you gon' die slow. I just hope I die in Morocco. Yeah, 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 yeah. And the empire of Morocco seized the devil and bound him for 1,000 years, throwing him into the bottomless pit forever and ever. Amen. We still in Morocco, but we still on the block though. And we still getting chased by the cops though. And we still gotta slide on the ops, bro. When you live fast, you gon' die slow. What I live for, I'ma die for. When you live fast, you gon' die slow. I just hope I die in Morocco. Yeah, 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 yeah. Amen.
New evidence. The real reason Gaddafi was killed. WikiLeaks released Hillary Clinton's unclassified emails that the U.S. Department of State emailed to Clinton dated 4/2/11. For those that may not be as sharp with their math, that's April 2nd, 2011. Ramadan Mubarak, brother. Sidney Blumenthal, the sender of the email, confirmed conspiracy theorist suspicions. Gaddafi was killed for his ideals of an African gold-backed currency. According to the IMF, Libya's central bank is 100% state-owned, and in 2011, it was estimated to have 144 tons of gold. And they can't touch it because the IMF World Bank, they had no fingers on it. And he was going to hand it out to all the real niggas. They wasn't ready for that. 144 tons of gold. And he had more than that, y'all. That was what he had stashed just in the Libya one. Muammar Gaddafi's plan was to introduce a gold-backed currency, which he hoped African nations would adopt. It would rival the euro and the dollar. Sidney Blumenthal, in his email to Hillary Clinton, confirmed Gaddafi's government holds 144 tons of gold and a similar amount in silver valued at $7 billion. If Gaddafi had succeeded, the US and Europe would have been forced to buy oil and minerals in the gold-backed currency, thus tipping the scales. The situation would have been a more lethal reenactment of Saddam Hussein's currency wars. The US was highly insecure about the effects of the new currency to its economy. Hussein's decision to sell oil in the new currency was a blow to the US currency wars, have therefore been a fact of history with the Hussein situation. With regard to the creation of a new currency, Ministry of Peace founder Dr. James Thing said, it's one of those things that you have to plan almost in secret, because as soon as you say you're going to change over from the dollar to something else, you're going to be targeted. And Gaddafi was for sure targeted. They murdered his whole family after this. Everybody in his family after this. Because they didn't want none of them to ever again touch that gold or that silver. And the question is, what happened to the gold? What happened to the silver? Where'd it go?
True, most of France's financial wealth right now.
France?
Why was Muommar Gaddafi killed? Muommar Gaddafi was murdered because he, along with the other African heads of state, were about to bring into existence Africa's first central bank. They were erecting a central bank in Africa, which was going to do what? Back its money to the resources under the ground in Africa. Now, what would that have done to the global economic order? Remember, the United States dollar isn't backed on any natural resource. The British pound isn't backed on any natural resource. The Canadian dollar, the European Union, their currency isn't backed on any natural resource because Europe doesn't have a lot of natural resource. Africa does. So if they would have been successful in creating a central bank of Africa, coming up with a unitary currency, and then backing that currency to the material wealth under the soil, they would have bankrupted every other economic system in this world, from America to Europe to China. That was revolution, and that's why Muammar Gaddafi had to be assassinated.
Okay, y'all. Now let's talk about some of the sciences that were taught in the Green Book. I don't got time to sit here all day and explain the Green Book to y'all. Y'all need to get that. That is our lost Bible right there. That Green Book that Muammar Gaddafi wrote, every nigga in America need to be reading that over and over and over and over all day. Fuck all that other shit. Give a fuck about a goddamn Egyptian carpet rug. Nigga, let's get the money out the ground. You dig? They can't kill all of us. So these are two. No, you know what? Fuck two. We don't got time for none of that. I bet y'all that Gaddafi is so powerful. If I give y'all just one principle from that Green Book, you'll be shook. One, Gaddafi declared home is considered a natural human right. In Gaddafi's Green Book, it states the house is a basic need of both the individual and the family. Therefore, it should not be owned by others. It was first published in 1975 and was intended reading for all Libyans, even being included in the national curriculum. Let me get a 777 if y'all want me to become the leader of this Afrofuturism, and y'all gonna come to the website and we're gonna read this Green Book together. We're gonna learn all this shit together. We're gonna build pyramids together, y'all. What are pyramids? Now I'm talking about building some tall ass shit in the sky and say, oh, it's so pretty. Independent energy mounds. No wires, no Wi-Fi, no depending on them no more. We're gonna channel the energy from the light in the sky. And we're gonna learn the economics that the Green Book taught. And we're gonna learn the future. We're gonna create the future together. 777. Come holler next month. I'm forcing Crumb in. Crumb acting like he busy. We don't give a fuck. We forcing Crumb in. We taking that nigga. We getting rich, y'all. We're gonna start this shit up and we're gonna get it cracking. All y'all come and join the Black Illuminati. All right? Because by next month, we're gonna get it cracking. Why were the Americans involved in the murder of Muammar Gaddafi? Answer is simple: money. Gaddafi announced he would trade oil in a new gold-based currency with neighbors by bypassing the USD being the global standard. 24 hours later, a direct drone strike on his residence. Moral of the story: don't undercut the Rothschilds, owner of the Federal Reserve. That is not the official story, but mark my words that it is 100% the reason. Note, Saddam Hussein announced doing the same thing at the end of 2002. The dots ain't hard to connect. Come on, y'all. It's all about the money. Y'all better tap in with the Black Illuminati and learn something. Now, did Muammar Gaddafi die the richest man in the world? Psst. The Los Angeles Times reported over the weekend that deceased Libyan dictator Muommar Gaddafi had secretly salted away more than $200 billion in bank accounts, real estate, and corporate investments around the world before he was killed. The story was repeated around the world, with various news sites reporting that Gaddafi died richer than the 3 richest people on the planet, Carlos Slim, Bill Gates, and Warren Buffett combined. Now I'm gonna ask y'all, what president was in power in America when they went in there to kill Gaddafi? When they went there to wipe his whole bloodline out? I'll reveal it to y'all at the end of this song.
You know, when you're a black man in America, you gotta make something out of nothing, baby. You gotta wiggle, you gotta move, you gotta finesse, you gotta tap in. That part. Gold chains, heads wrapped like a Saudi. Tap in with the lokes. We the black Illuminati. We be posted at Leimert Park, hustling, catching bodies. A dripping OT. Thirsty peaches flew to Saudi. Money schemes, my niggas had dreams of riding Bugattis. Now it's 4-finger rings supreme with kings around me. Watch me turn the metaphysical to physical. It's not just lyrical, it's literal. These guns get rid of you, the spiritual. Spit out, let drip off a nigga lip, but get up in you and rip you up like 100 hollow tips. Bismillah, Iraq, Rahim. Prophet Noble Drew Ali, Elijah Muhammadeen. Had a dream last night on some other shit. Farrakhan and Malcolm X pulled up in the mothership. Talking about UFOs, black kings and queens that was rich as fuck, swimming in pools of gold. But niggas like you don't wanna hear that though. You were descended of one of them snitches or dudes that told the white man about all the fucking Jews and gold. And that's how everybody in the crew got sold. Fucking blabber mouth, I don't like his type. Pull that ratchet out, we tapping in. All these bitch niggas doing is tapping out, tapping out, tapping out, tapping out, tapping out, tapping out. Gold chains, heads wrapped like a Saudi. Tap in with the lokes. We the black Illuminati.
So you see that one? Yeah.
Oh, we back at it.
That's that we are back at it. In the hood entertainment. You feel me?
Night, man.
That part.
You never know what's gonna bring.
See, I ain't know if it's in the hood music, in the hood clothes. That's where they go. In the hood entertainment. It's in the hood entertainment.
It's everything.
Everybody that said Obama, that's cool, but that ain't what we was looking for. We was looking for what the brother Michael X said. Barry Soetoro. Oh, it just gets deeper and deeper, y'all. And I'm gonna leave y'all with this. Gaddafi was able to rule Libya successfully for decades because he was the kind of leader who always makes the interests of his people his top priority. The West called him a tyrant. They demonized him. They used their, I don't know, demonic-like media to ostensibly besmirch him. They rejoiced after killing him, but little did they know that the battle was more psychological than physical. There goes President Barry Soetoros. So they call him Obama. Let's call him Barry Soetoros. Do y'all know why his nickname was Barry Soetoros? Because I don't got time to do 30-second countdown. I'm finna tell y'all right now. We finna get up out of here. So can somebody out here answer me? Do y'all know why his nickname? That's not his name. I mean, that's on some. That is on some. It is on some documents. Barry Soetoros. But do y'all know why he's called Barry Soetoros? You feel what I'm saying? And instead of Barack Obama. I see question marks down here. I don't see answers. I'm about to give y'all the answer. Okay, let me give it for y'all. Yeah, he was adopted and all that, but no, it gets deeper than that. He was adopted by Lolo Soetoros. And this man had a whole lot of money in that IMF World Bank as well. Meaning that if the value was to fall, so would that man's value. Meaning that he wasn't just paid to do this. He volunteered. He wanted to do this. This is his value that's going to drop if this thing goes through. Do y'all kind of understand what's going on now? Do y'all get it? Right there is a lawsuit against Barack Obama that mentions him named Barry Soetoros. We can't make this shit up, y'all. Lolo had that oil money. And if that situation with Gaddafi was to go through, Lolo oil money would have got played with. And that would have affected Barry's oil money. Do y'all get it now? I hope y'all get it, and I hope y'all got it, and I hope y'all keep it. And I hope y'all come with me to the future, because the United States of Africa is a dream that almost came true, and it still can.
You know, it's hard having God in your life when you like to, turn up. You feel what I'm saying? But we all need a little bit of, that good spirit. You feel what I'm saying? Who the does go to? Who the street people go to? Who the hoes go to? We all need somebody. You feel what I'm saying? We all need. Yeah, and Crip Jesus, because thugs need love too. We need love, and Crip Jesus, for your you know these hoes love you. And Crip Jesus, because thugs need love too. We need love, and Crip Jesus, for your you know these hoes love you. Hey, now where you niggas go when you need work? And where these hoes go when they need perks? Where you go if you need a nigga murk? You gon' fuck around and get your ass hurt by Crip Jesus. And get your walk on. Walk with Crip Jesus. And get your walk on. Walk with Crip Jesus. And get your walk on. Walk with Crip Jesus.
You are now watching Crumb TV. You're watching Crumb TV. This is Prema Asset,